I would now like to introduce the valedictorian. Dr. Luke Nicholson defended his PhD dissertation, and I quote, "Anthony Blunt and Nicolas Poussin, a queer approach," end quote. In July of 2011, under the supervision of Dr. Joanne Sloan from the Department of Art History. His doctoral research re-examined both a paradigmatic painter from the 17th century, Nicolas Poussin, and a prominent 20th century art historian, Anthony Blunt, who was a renowned authority on Poussin, as well as being the custodian of the Queen's art collection, a semi-closeted gay man and a Soviet spy, all at the same time. Well, quite an individual. Dr. Nicholson used a critical approach based on queer theory to successfully bring these figures out of the past, illuminating a body of art and a set of relationships, and demonstrating how historical investigations can be embedded in the contemporary world. Dr. Nicholson is currently an SSHRC postdoctoral fellow at the University of British Columbia. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask Dr. Luke David Nicholson to give the valedictory address. Ladies and gentlemen.
Chancellor Ménard, President Lowy, Dr. Hervé, distinguished guests and participants, fellow students, families and friends, I am pleased to address you today on behalf of the graduating students. I thank you all for this extraordinary honor. Concordia's name celebrates the coming together of different things, even while they retain their proper differences. And this is a quality wonderfully exemplified by this bilingual, indeed multilingual and multicultural city. It is symbolized by our joint graduation ceremony, embracing both fine arts and engineering and computer science. And it is reflected back at me, standing up here today, looking out across such a diverse and talented and accomplished group as all of you, even if the university has all given us gowns to wear today. Difference is what I wanted to spend my time talking about in these brief couple of minutes that I have. La langue française a l'expression vive la différence, but this expression is often borrowed in English. It was borrowed originally to celebrate the difference between the sexes and to celebrate the possibility of their strictly heterosexual concordia in a poetical sense of that word. Nothing is ever risque if spoken in Latin. Now, my own graduate work here has been all about difference. I have been working on research topics that involve queerness, and the wonderful range and flexibility of this institution has allowed me to bring together a great many research interests, linking the kinds of subjects studied through the interdisciplinary program for studies in sexuality with some of the most seemingly conservative corners in the discipline of art history. This has been possible because my own department here, Concordia's Department of Art History, is anything but conservative or doctrinaire. This is just one snapshot of how and why this is such a dynamic and interesting place, but one that we are, most of us, now leaving. What will we take with us? In my own case, I believe it will mainly be a newfound bravery. In academic life, and certainly on the academic job market, one is presented with innumerable opportunities to conform, to sit back down, to not stand out, and to not rock any boats. This is true, of course, more generally of life. The encouragement I have received here to do what seems outlandish to some others, to bring very different things together while respecting and even cherishing those differences, will serve me well and remind me always to avoid what some would call my comfort zone. I received this encouragement from some fabulous faculty members, fellow graduate students, and even former undergraduate students of mine, some of whom are present here today. The point is to be uncomfortable as we become more and more ourselves, and to recognize that, at its best, education provides this productive discomfort that I'm talking about. I address some of you at the outset as fellow students. Let me expand that now to include everyone here: Chancellor Ménard, President Lowy, Dr. Hervé, distinguished guests and participants, families and friends. We are all of us bound to be students forever, whether we like that or not. Queer theory teaches us, among other things, that we are not even self-same. We are each made of difference itself. Let us embrace the challenge of our differences, therefore, and thereby become ever better students. Alors, je vous embrasse. Donnons-nous une nouvelle signification à l'expression « Vive la différence », vive les différences. Merci tout le monde et félicitations aux co-diplômés. Au revoir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.